something that can melt you in a split second.
That's it!
What's it?
Why hasn't the Phoenix melted us?
How should I know?
Because Jean has at least some control over the creature. That means there's still hope of reaching her.
Yes.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of GospelX, the Gospel According to the X-Men. My name is Jonathan, and this is my friend Henry. And yes, behind in the background, that is the Dark Phoenix. So it's not just my hair that's going, AWOL and fiery. It's actually a character right here. But we are now embarking on, we're carrying on this series, this 4-part series apparently, and this is episode 3 of the Dark Phoenix Saga. Of the 1990s X-Men animated series. And so we will start off with a brief synopsis of this episode, just a quick summary. So Henry, how about you do the honors of just bringing everyone up to speed?
Well, this is a action-packed episode where, at first the X-Men go and fight with the Phoenix in the park. And then afterwards, the Phoenix just brushes them off, calls them annoyances. Their powers have no effect on her at all. She flies off into outer space and destroys a star, which brings the attention of the Shi'ar Empire onto her. We'll find that later on in the episode. Then she goes back to Earth, goes back to her childhood home, because that's probably where she felt safest in her life. And then they get into another confrontation with an X-Men, where the X-Men go and they try to put a collar on her head to kind of stop her thoughts, but that doesn't work. And then finally, Charles Xavier goes and enters her mind, and they have a mental battle. And with Jean's help, Professor X and Jean are able to contain and trap the Phoenix inside of Jean's mind.
So we just started off, before we even introduced ourselves, we showed our audience a brief video clip of that exchange of what Xavier said inside the house, right? And why did we show that scene?
I think that we were showing that scene because we wanted to emphasize that when people go down into like a downward spiral, when they have some sort of mental illness, it could be depression, it could be anything, and we as friends or loved ones try to help them, there's no way that we can actually pull someone out of a pit if they're not willing to be helped. And this is where we saw the parallels here with the Phoenix, is that, a part of Jean is still in there trying to get help, trying to be saved. And her friends recognize that because the Phoenix is so powerful. We've seen her through many episodes. She could dive into a star. She could destroy an entire star system. She could melt everyone. Why hasn't she done it? And her friends realize it's because she doesn't want to hurt her friends. She doesn't want to be in this cycle of destruction that the Phoenix is currently in. She wants out of it.
Right, which is interesting because her friends continue to fight, right? Continue to pursue, believing that their true friend is still in there, regardless of what behavior she's been doing. Like, it's almost like that no matter how many times Jean, taking over by Phoenix, rejects them, like that tells them to go away. Why do you become an annoyance, right? Get out of here, right? Her friends, knowing her very well and knowing her truly and loving her very much, knows that this is not the Jean that they know. So they continue to pursue and continue to help her, which is interesting.
This is very true, because a lot of times when people go into these downward spirals, they tend to try to push people that care about them away,
like
right?
seclusion.
Seclusion, try to be by themselves. They feel like they just become hindrances to their friends, but their friends, their true friends, continue to pursue them because they know that this is not who they are. This is not who they are. They know who their true friend is.
Yeah. And this is interesting because this is a good conversation that we're having right now. Till this day, it's about mental health, right? And how should people like ourselves, like friends and family, how do you help a person who keeps on secluding themselves and or not wanting our help, etc. Is that, well, those are just behaviors, right? Things that it just comes out of their mental illness, but really that's not their true self talking. That's just their just behaviors, and we cannot judge them by or just determine, oh, it's a hopeless cause. Right? We cannot say that there's a hopeless cause because that's not who they are. That's not them. There's the truer person, the person that you knew is still there, just that the behaviors are now just cloaking that and just hiding that person away. So that's an interesting point that you made.
And we see parallels of that in the Bible as well, right? Where, when Jesus is asking people who have an illness, like, what is it that you want? And they want to be healed, right? That is their true self coming out. And Jesus just reveals and brings back out that true self.
Yeah.
That one that wants to be whole.
Yeah, that's a great example. And another example is probably with regards to friendships and family and stuff. Like, it's the man with the legion of demons inside of him. For those who don't know, there was a story about how this man with a whole host of demons inside, basically back then, they probably described mental health as demons, lots of demons. So, however, people who did not know him thought that they were afraid of his behavior only. Right? They thought that this guy's a maniac, and so everybody avoided him. But people who really knew him, his true friends, actually went and asked Jesus to heal this guy, because they knew that this is not him. This is not who we have come to know and love. And so therefore, they actually asked Jesus to heal him, which brings to a conclusion to our segment today in our GospelX, is that so many times, like when we address mental health, we judge a person by their behaviors, especially during COVID lately, right? A lot of people doing really weird things, right? And have like weird behaviors and stuff. That it might not be their true self, right? And therefore just like Gene's friends, we have to appeal to people like their friends, people who really know them, to really get to understand who they are and what their needs are. And how can we help them? Just like what you said about, really truly getting to know that individual and what their needs are and how can we help them, especially our loved ones too. We know who they were, and we know that there's that person that we know is still in there. How can we bring that person back out? Right?
That's very true. All right.
Anything you want to add?
I think that's pretty much it. Next time, we will go and embark on the very last episode of the Dark Phoenix Saga. So I'm quite excited about that, because at the end, they did trap the Phoenix, but the Shi'ar Empire showed up at the end of the episode, and now they are saying that both Jean and the Phoenix need to be destroyed. So we will find out how the X-Men figure that out.
So that's going to be an interesting theme on what we're going to try to talk about on that one too. So anyways, thank you all for joining us on another episode of GospelX, the Gospel According to the X-Men. Again, my name is Jonathan. This is Henry. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment at the bottom of our page or on our post or in the bottom of our YouTube, or visit our website at www.completedisciples.com for more information on what we do. Talk to you later.